All right, guys, we got Big Bad Brian on the rack. He's going for front squat. What happens right here is as he descends, coming out of the hole, you'll notice that when he comes upward, his hips start to shift to the side and then they come back neutral. Again, we're gonna pause the camera. You start to see it, a shift to the right side. In this video, we're gonna talk about improving our hip deficiencies to improve our performance with the barbell. Welcome to HarvestingStrength.com. All right, so this is myself going for a trap bar, max PR. I hit a weight of 650 pounds. I was really positive about this, but I noticed a few reps before I was struggling off the bottom. Actually, I've been having a little bit of a meniscus issue, and you see right here, my hips start to sway to the left side of the screen. Not only are they swaying and shifting over, I got this really bad rounded back. So what are some ways to correct these issues for our performance to make us more effective with our hip extension and all things that regard to, squatting and pulling, any variations of that? How do we improve our hip deficiencies? Let's check out these next clips and break down the movements we would prescribe to people with those issues. So I'm setting up the camera, should have cropped that. Oh, well. And I'm getting ready to work my abductors, adductors, and extensors. So adduction is bringing things to the midline of the body. Typically, we don't want to promote that, but we want to have symmetrical strength, balanced strength. We want to work both ends of it just to, maybe if there's an injury or, overall just want better hip strength, we want to work on those things in general. So right here, we have a horizontal band. It's pulling my knees internally, so I have to force against it and work my abductors. So abduction is away from the midline, adduction is to the midline. So you can kind of think about adding, bringing together. Abduction's the opposite. I'm doing a split squat, works my abductors in a movement, so it isn't truly isolating, just, opening and closing those knees and abductors. It's actually, doing a movement and having to work that movement pattern as well. Right here, I'm doing a split squat like previous, but with a kettlebell. So now I have to work on upper body posture and balance. I'm getting a lot of things accomplished. What I was struggling to make a note of earlier is what I'm trying to say is we're trying to promote movements that are doing a lot of things at once. We don't want to just isolate. We want to get a lot of things done at once. Right here, kind of similar. Now, instead of it being a split squat, so it's a single leg, putting focus on one leg. Now we're doing both legs and doing something a little bit more specific in our movement pattern, like the squat. This transfers quite a bit more to the squat versus just a single leg. Right here, now, let's say instead of having that knee issue of them abducting or adducting, now we have an issue of the hips shifting laterally side to side. We can work our hips by moving the band upward and now forcing ourselves to have to practice that straight line up and down and push ourselves out and have balance and just, like I said, correct our movement. So we worked the abductors, the shifting of the hips as well. Now we're working adduction. We're putting the band on the inside of our knee to try to force us out, but we got to force it in. So this is going to work our adductors to complement the abductors. So I wouldn't really put too much focus on this, but like we said, we wanted to have balance in our strength. So working the abductors and adductors, doing this progression will really help out with all those little kinks you might have with your hip performance. And then last thing, working the extensors. So we're going to work the extensors from like a deadlift position, which is occurring right here, bringing down the kettlebell, standing with it, displacing the weight below our hips. Eventually we'll work into a goblet squat to translate more to the squat, and then doing some kettlebell swings to work more on power with our extensors. So we're working on strength with our extensors right now, correcting our movement patterns, and then exploding with the kettlebell in a minute. I just wanted to show this video overall in one flow and one take, so you'll see me, pull my pants apart or picking my nose, but I really wanted to show all this at once as a progression so you can see single leg movements into using both legs at the same time and just doing a progression with all this to maybe this is, a unique warm-up before you do your complex movements in your main programming. So again, we're working the abductors, adductors, and extensors. Coming soon, we're coming out with a book on mindset, so it's going to take a break from physical preparation and talking about mental preparation. So it's coming soon. We'll make an announcement. It's going to be published on Amazon as an ebook. Hopefully you guys can check it out. If you have more questions, concerns, check myself out, harvestingstrength.com. Thank you very much.